Good morning, YouTube. Today we're going to be doing a what I eat in a day road trip edition. So me and little dude here have a 14-hour drive from Austin, Texas to Denver, Colorado. I'm trying to keep it down. My friend is still sleeping downstairs, but I will see you guys in 2 minutes. All right, so we are about 2.5 hours into the drive. First official stop. I was dying, so I had to get some food. But we stopped at Chick-fil-A. Always a go-to, especially for breakfast, but also lunch and dinner actually on the road. With road trips like this, I know my calories are gonna be all over the place, and I know that the nutrition quality that I'm gonna be getting is probably not gonna be up to the par that I would prefer it to be. So what I try to do is I try to find places like a Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, etc., where I know exactly what I'm gonna be getting. It's an easy way to then track what you're getting and kind of know exactly how you're going to feel. The last thing you want, at least in my opinion, on the road is going somewhere new and then having that mess your stomach up and, you know, having to drop the kids off repetitively on your drive, because that's not convenient for anybody. So I have 2 egg white grillers here. Obviously the goat from Chick-fil-A. Look at that smoke coming off of there. I also got 1 Chick-fil-A sauce because I'm a slut for their sauce. We'll eat this. Goal is to probably stop in the next probably 3 or 4 hours. Generally, I'll try to go a little bit longer in the morning, but today I was just starving. I think it's because I hit legs really heavy yesterday. Like I'm dying right now. So I'm gonna scarf these down. This morning I started out with the Faye Greek yogurt, and then I had a cold brew on the drive. In my last What I Eat in a Day video, I'd explained how I like to have something in my stomach before I put coffee into it. Just helps, I think, with cortisol and my digestion. And also when I'm driving like this, the last thing I want is to have coffee on an empty stomach, and then it's like you get 1 hour and you got some momentum, and then all of a sudden, boom, you have to run to the restroom. Not fun. Maui, over here, bro. But yeah, I'm gonna slam these. Maui just had breakfast. Senor? And I will see you guys for the next update. All right, we made our next pit stop for a doggy break 2, but we got a core power. These are 26 grams. I typically go for the 26 gram over the 42, just because you know all that protein is not gonna probably get used in one sitting. So the 26 I just think also tastes a little bit better. Maybe that's my bias. I also got the Snickers high protein bar. If you've ever had these, let me know your thoughts, because I will grab this more than most protein bars. Honestly, the macros aren't that bad, and I am a sucker for Snickers, but we got Maui over there doing the deuce. We're gonna probably stop for lunch in about probably 4-ish hours. It is now around like 11 a.m. We've been driving for 5-ish hours now, or 4-ish, 4.5, 5 hours. The taco doesn't hold that much gas, and I only get like 12 miles to the gallon, so I stop pretty frequently, which is nice for one, the pup, but also just getting snacks and meals. Come on, let's go, come on. Yeah, when you're carrying this much weight, you do not get much MPG when you already have a weak little engine in this boy. Also, can't forget, I did get another cold brew. I will try to do probably maybe just 1 more coffee on top of this today. When I'm driving, obviously it's a must because I don't want to fall asleep, but if I want to sleep tonight, because I'm supposed to get in around 6:30, 6:45 p.m. into Denver, I'll probably try to cut off my coffee consumption around like 2-ish. And again, right now it's 10:53, so that should be good. That should give me another 2 hours with this coffee, and then I can kind of coast and then worry about, you know, the afternoon slump when that hits. All right, we're at our next stop. We are about 3 hours since I last spoke to you. It is around 2:30 right now. Got some snacks. So I found a little cute coffee shop in the town I was passing through, and I was stopping for gas before. And in my mind, I was like, okay, if they don't have egg sandwiches in that coffee shop, I need to go ahead and grab some snacks. So here's what I got. Got some Gatorade Light, the drink of champions. I got 2 Chobani yogurts, so it's about 30 grams of protein, some carbs in there. And then I got this guy, which is like a meat and cheese little platter thing. Big pro tip, and I don't know if y'all are similar, but when I'm road tripping, if I eat too many protein bars or too many protein shakes in a single day within like a too short of a span, I feel like really greasy and bloaty. So to avoid that, I go with Chobanis whenever I can, or Chobanis. Why do I keep saying Chobanis? Chobanis whenever I see them at the gas station, because it kind of helps give me that complete protein, but also break up the monotony of having, I would say, some of the like more processed ingredients that can come along with protein bars and stuff, aka sugar, alcohol, alcohols and the good stuff there that I don't really want in my body as much as I can. These two guys, along with this tray, pretty complete foods, whole foods at that. So can't really complain there. Got another cold brew, so this will be the last one. I know I said gonna try to cut it off at 2, but 2:37, it is what it is. I'm gonna try to drink it before 3 though, so we'll get through it. And then Maui is chilling. I saw something so sad. So I was driving up like this little overpass area, and I saw a pup that was hit, and it looked like a little cattle dog kind of looking pup. It was black, white, longer hair. So sad. So little story time here while I eat my yogurt. I don't think I've ever shared this on the story, but back in 2017, I was away working the Arnold Classic for work, so I was covering it as a journalist. And I left my pup at the time, Ollie. She was my first dog, first ever dog I owned on my own. She was like this little cute mixed cattle dog thing. She's long, lanky, had one blue eye, cutest dog, so well behaved. And I went away, left her with friends, and essentially I got a call on Friday night while I was out to dinner with Silent Mike and Omar Isuf. If you're into fitness, you know who those guys are. Did a call, and it's essentially my friend who's watching, Ollie, saying, hey, she got out, she's gone, we are looking for her, we can't find her, yada yada. So I tried to keep it cool, kept my composure through the dinner, whatever. Was sharing stories everywhere. People were out and about looking for her. I ended up getting a call the next morning, so this is now Saturday morning at like 6 a.m. from a woman who had found Ollie outside of the Holland Tunnel, like in Jersey, like Jersey City area. She had been hit by a car. The woman saw this and took her to the animal hospital. She ended up dying there. And man, that messed me up. It messed me up for months. It's like it loomed over me for years, honestly. And even now when I see a pup like that, it instantly takes me back to that really, really dark time in life. And if you've ever had to go through that, I am so freaking sorry, because it is so unbelievably brutal, especially when it comes out of nowhere like that. Even when I pass that pup, I know Maui's in the back seat, but I like need to look back and physically touch him because it like shakes me to my core, because that was such a dark time in my life. And if you're wondering how it happened and why it happened, essentially on their apartment complex, they had like a dog park on the roof. And instead of taking her up there, because during the day she had chewed through her collar, like her harness, her body harness, because I left it on her all day in her cage, even though I left instructions not to do that. She chewed through her harness, and they borrowed their neighbor's neck collar and took her out for a walk. She slipped out of that and ran away. And I think what messes me up most when I think about it, and like when I really go back into my feelings, I'm not gonna do that right now on this YouTube video because I got my single track, get to the destination kind of mindset right now. But I think what messes me up the most is just knowing like, okay, she was running to look for me. She was looking for dad. And I think the inability to help that type of relationship, so the dog, like you are their caretaker, like it's like a parent, yada yada. Obviously not the same thing as a kid parent. So all my parents out there, please don't assume that I'm like comparing the two, because they're not comparable. And it's one of the most helpless feelings I've ever felt in my life. So all that said, my rant aside, my story done, sad story at that. Sorry if you sat through that and you're like, damn, now I'm sad. I'm sorry, I'm sad too. All that said, if you've ever had to go through it, I'm very sorry. But I'm gonna slam these 2 yogurts. I'm gonna eat some of this platter. I'm not gonna eat all this meat and cheese right now. I'll be like Charlie from Always Sunny. How much cheese is too much cheese? And then I'll probably give Maui a little bit of piece of cheese in his Kong too. He's been such a good boy. He's already back to sleeping back there. I'm his little chauffeur. He just goes back and forth from Texas to Colorado. He just lives the dream, people. But I'll see you guys in the next few hours. We are almost out of Texas into the promised land of getting up to Colorado. Then it's just a straight shot 25. Also, for protein intake so far today, we were around like 80 before this. So with these guys, another like 30. So it's about 110-ish. And then with this guy, we have for the package, I would say anywhere from like 60 grams of protein. So we should be right around like 160, 150 by the time we get into Denver or our next snack, which is absolutely perfect, because on these road trips, my priority is always protein, and then I worry about filling in the gaps as those go. So if I can hit my protein earlier on, that means I don't have to eat super late when I get in. I can sleep better. But all that said, I'm out. I'm gonna see you guys in the next 2 hours. All right, just got to Denver. Made it about 13 and a half, 14 hours. Not too bad. And honestly, it went by pretty quick. Not too bad. Not too bad. I've made this drive now probably 4 or 5 times in the last 6 months, but we got our final meal for the day until our snack later. We got sweet green, pretty basic. I got the Harvest Bowl. There's about 650 calories in that and around like 30, 35 grams of protein. So based off of our protein calc throughout the day, we're right around probably like 170, 180. And I'll probably lowball that and just say 170 for the sake of making sure I eat more later. I'm definitely under my calories today, but later I'm gonna grab a snack, and that's the goal, is to eat more of my calories right before bed, or like at least like an hour and a half, 2 hours before bed, not right before, because obviously I have under-eaten today because I was on the road, so I wasn't eating as much, I wasn't moving as much, so I just didn't feel as hungry. And even if I am under my calories today, it's really not the biggest deal. As long as I hit my protein, that is my biggest concern, because look, you're not gonna be flawless every day. When I'm driving for 14 hours, I understand that my eating and nutrition habits are gonna be a little bit all over the place. So all that said, if you're in a similar situation, just focus on doing the bare minimum, hit your protein, try to get in some whole foods, some nutrient dense foods, and that one day is not gonna mess up any progress. I eat really well throughout the week, so one day doesn't really mean ish in the grand scheme of things. But all that said, I'm gonna slam this really fast and I'll catch up with you guys after dinner. Final snacks for the day, we just went to 7-Eleven. We have a Snickers ice cream bar, Gator Light because thirst is real, Core Power, one more for the day, and then Liquid Death. I had no idea they made the citrus tangerine flavor. I'm stoked on that. But we are gonna be hitting right around like 190, I would say 190 conservatively with protein. We likely went way over that with all the meat and cheese. I didn't really factor in every single gram of protein with that, but we definitely hit our protein goal. Definitely under 8 calories today. That's okay. I know I underate my carbs. My carbs are way lower than what I would normally want, but I think that's because it's a product of just sitting in the truck and not having as much energy. So what does it mean? Tomorrow we might go a little bit heavier on carbs, drop the protein a little bit, keep the fat relatively consistent, and then just train really hard, and we'll probably feel really good doing that. That's what I usually will do when I have days like this. Like, I'll naturally kind of bias the way I eat and do my macro breakdowns the next day. But all that said, y'all, it is about 9 p.m., 9:20 p.m. now. Still light here in Colorado, but I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If there are videos like this that you want to see in the future, or context where you want to see how I break down my days of eating, let me know in the comments below. But as always, y'all, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.